It's well established that injuries can happen at any time during a WWE match, but what happens when a wrestler is injured before a huge match is set to take place? Well, if that injury isn't too serious, the wrestlers will fulfill the match and any medical assistance will be offered after the match has taken place. But over the years, WWE superstars have gone into major matches with major injuries, but have pushed through the pain to give the fans the match they want to see. Well, which times were they? Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who went into a match seriously injured. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and on wrestling channel Incredible. Number 10, Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 31. Just hours before WrestleMania 31 was set to go on air, reports circulated online that Bray Wyatt had been injured. Wyatt was set to have the biggest match of his career against The Undertaker, and this put the match in serious jeopardy. Wyatt had actually injured his ankle whilst warming up for the match, and it was believed that Wyatt had suffered an ankle sprain. This created a problem as Wyatt was doing most of the work in the match due to Taker's limitations, and WWE were concerned that Wyatt wasn't going to be able to compete. Wyatt managed to wrestle the match as originally planned, and it appeared as if nothing was going to stop the Eater of the Worlds from wrestling on the grandest stage of them all. Number 9, Triple H at SummerSlam 2003. WWE had huge plans for SummerSlam in 2003. The main event was going to see Goldberg take on Triple H for the world title. However, a few weeks before the match, Triple H suffered a groin injury which has sent WWE into a state of panic. WWE considered cancelling the match and having Triple H take the time off to heal, but instead, Triple H continued wrestling. He would wear these hideous looking biker shorts and continued as an active in-ring competitor. Now, the SummerSlam match itself would indeed be cancelled in favour of an Elimination Chamber match which would protect Triple H, meaning that he would only have to perform limited bumps in the match. Now at the time, WWE had a ton of star power, and it would have easily gotten away with having Triple H rest up, but clearly they had other ideas. Number 8, Sami Zayn on Raw in 2015. A John Cena US title open challenge was an exciting time in WWE to be a fan. It saw Cena take on a random opponent each and every week, and one of the most acclaimed matches during this time was his match with Sami Zayn. Although the match was fantastic, Zayn actually wrestled with a torn rotator cuff, and he would suffer this injury as he was making his entrance. It appeared as if the injury occurred as Zayn was doing his pre-match taunts, but somehow Zayn managed to wrestle the match as if nothing was wrong. Zayn would discuss the pre-match injury during an interview on the New Day's podcast, and this is what he had to say. "I don't know what happened at the time because it happened so fast. It popped out and popped in right away. It happened so fast I was in denial, wondering if that just happened or did it just pop. Was it a crack or a pop? I don't even know what it was, but it scared me a little bit. When my arm went down, it was back in and everything seemed fine. It was my debut against John Cena, maybe the biggest star ever in my hometown, and I'm getting this amazing hero's welcome. At this point, I feel fine and we wrestle for about a minute. It gives me a back suplex and that's when it's out and it's not getting back in. My arm was dead and I couldn't roll, and I think when I finally did roll, it went back in place." Number 7, Gangrel on his Raw debut. Gangrel was one of the most iconic characters of the Attitude Era, but what many fans may not know is that Gangrel suffered an injury just seconds before his debut match against Scott Taylor in 1998. As Gangrel made his first entrance, his foot got stuck between the elevator and the stage, and this left Gangrel in immense pain. His foot was heavily bruised, but he wrestled as initially planned. Following the injury, Gangrel would begin to strut when making his entrance. For the past 24 years, fans just assumed that he did that because it was part of his character, but it actually wasn't. Gangrel's foot was so badly damaged that he had to perform a limp when walking, but it actually added a further dimension to his vampire-esque persona. Number 6, John Cena at SummerSlam 2013. A former WWE champion, John Cena has made a career out of recovering from serious injuries in record time, and Cena has never been known to wrestle injured. Take for instance his SummerSlam match in 2013 with Daniel Bryan. Cena went into the match with a torn tricep and had been medically advised not to compete in the match, but he insisted that he was going to wrestle and put Bryan over. This was a dangerous thing for Cena to do, as he should be having immediate surgery, not opting to wrestle a main event match on pay-per-view. Cena finished the match without a hitch, and the match delivered everything fans wanted. Cena would take time off following the SummerSlam match with Bryan, and once again he managed to recover from the torn tricep in seemingly record time. Number 5. Goldberg Super Showdown 2019. The once dream match between Goldberg and The Undertaker turned into a nightmare when they collided in 2019. The match is widely regarded as the worst match of both their respective careers, and both no doubt wish to have the match erased from their match catalogue. It was filled with dangerous botches, and it was lucky that they didn't come out of the match with broken necks. According to Goldberg, the match was off to a bad start even before the bell had rung. The former world champion claimed that when he headbutted the door during his pre-match antics, this virtually knocked him loopy, and the rest of the match was a complete blur for him. Whilst most fans assumed that Goldberg concussed himself when he went headfirst into the ring post during the match, it was actually when he headbutted the door before the match had even started. Concussions are incredibly serious, and once Goldberg revealed this information, questions were asked in relation to if an audible should have been called and the match should have ended early. Number 4. Kurt Angle at Wrestlemania 19. The planned main event of Wrestlemania 19 almost didn't even take place. During the build to Kurt Angle vs Brock Lesnar, it was revealed that Angle needed to have immediate neck surgery as his neck wasn't in good shape. Angle had apparently broken his neck at the No Way Out pay-per-view in 2003 in a spot which saw him suffer serious whiplash when being whipped into the turnbuckle. WWE were going to have Angle drop the title to Lesnar on SmackDown, and the title match would have turned into Lesnar vs Chris Benoit. Angle, however, decided against this, and he instead decided to compete in the match. Discussing his decision on the Kurt Angle show, he revealed,
"At first, when I, came back from South Africa and I got the diagnosis from the doctor, I told Vince I'm going to have surgery, and, I'm going to have to skip WrestleMania. The next day I went to my neighbor's house, and there's a really good kid named Johnny. He has Down syndrome. And he said, 'Kurt, I'm so sad you're not going to be wrestling against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.' And I said, 'Yeah, it's pretty upsetting, Johnny.' He said, 'I wish you would.' And it stuck with me, and I thought, I'm going to call Vince and tell him I'm going to choose to have surgery after WrestleMania."
Number 3. The Undertaker at King of the Ring in 1998. King of the Ring 1998 featured one of the most well-known WWE matches of all time, as Mankind collided with The Undertaker inside the Hell in a Cell. However, what many fans forget is that the dead man went into the match with an established injury. Taker performed inside the Hell in a Cell with a broken foot, and virtually nobody noticed. The only time in the match that's clear was when he climbed down into the ring from the top of the cell and he lands awkwardly on his ankle, and you visibly see The Undertaker in pain. The dead man was synonymous with wrestling matches with injuries and various other illnesses, and this is one of the reasons why he's one of the most respected wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots. Number 2. Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. A casket match in 1998 Royal Rumble between Michaels and The Undertaker resulted in a life-altering injury for HBK. He would herniate 2 discs in his back and crush one completely, and this was going to force him to retire from in-ring action for the next 4 years. Before his retirement, HBK was going to drop the title to Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event of WrestleMania 14. And there was a ton of concern heading into the match, as it was said that HBK struggled to walk and never mind wrestle a main event match. Amazingly, he pulled through, and whilst the match was an all-time classic, under the circumstances, it was the best it could possibly be. And number 1, Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell 2022. Just days before Cody Rhodes was set to meet Seth Rollins inside a Hell in a Cell, Rhodes suffered a legitimate pectoral tear. This required immediate surgery, but Rhodes made the decision to wrestle against Rollins at Hell in a Cell. His logic was that the injury in theory couldn't have gotten any worse, but Rhodes was going to have to wrestle a main event match with virtually one working arm. Rhodes would present the injury at the start of the match, and the bruising was truly heinous, and instant sympathy was offered towards Rhodes. Rhodes managed to wrestle the match, which was a credit to him as a performer. He would be universally praised by fans and would even receive a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer. But there you have it, folks, 10 WWE wrestlers who went into a match seriously injured. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.